Hi, and welcome to the first video in the Stencil series. In this first video, I'm going to show you how to get started with Stencil and get a sample game going with some pre-made assets. So here I am in Stencil, and I'm on the Welcome Center, and I'm going to see all of the games that I have available, and I'm going to go ahead and start by creating a game from scratch. Now, before I do that, I want to download a kit. So kits show up over here under kits, of course. I'm going to go ahead and open up Stencil Forge, go to kits. I'm going to type in and search for Crash Course. And a lot of these would work. The one that I've tested is this one here, Crash Course Kit by Donnie11. And when you double click it, you can then choose download. It'll then show up. Okay, so I'm going to create a new game. It's going to be based on the Crash Course Kit, not a blank game. I'll choose next, and I'll go ahead and give my game a name. I'm not going to change the sizes, and I'll go ahead and click on create. Okay, so the game, this particular kit, starts me off with a brand new scene. I'm going to pretend, though, that I didn't have a scene, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it. So here's how to remove a scene. I'm going to go ahead and add a scene, and you can call this anything you want. I think I'm going to go ahead and just call this level 1. I am going to be making a level 2 in part 2 as well. Okay, and instead of a solid color, which you could pick any solid color you want, I'm going to go ahead and pick a vertical gradient. And the way the vertical gradient works is you choose any two colors, and then when you hit create, it's going to create a blending between the two. So here you can see the two colors blending nicely together. If you decide you want to change the background, you can come right up here to the top middle buttons, and you can choose properties, and you can then go ahead and choose whatever you want. So maybe I want to flip those. Okay, there we go. Go ahead and save my game. Alright, so over here on the left we have the selection tool, which you can get to by pressing the spacebar. We have the pencil tool, which allows us to place tiles. And we have the zoom in and zoom out tools. We'll be getting to the other tools in class. So over here on the right you have your tiles and you have your actors. Right now we currently have 2 actors pre-made for us. So you basically click on a tile, and then you can come out here and you can paint it or draw it. If you want to replace a tile, you just come over here, select it, and you paint right on top of it, and it will replace it. If you want to manipulate the tiles, you can press the space bar to get the selection tool, and you can click on your tile that you want to edit. You can then left click and drag your tile around, or you can press the delete key and that will get rid of it. If you want to select multiple tiles on the screen, you can left click and drag a selection box around your tiles, and then you can left click and move the group, or you can delete the group. Be very careful because you will delete a lot of your scene if you're not very careful. Also, a warning, note that around the outside here, around the top and the bottom, the left and the right, that's off screen. You don't want to put any tiles out there. I see a lot of beginners putting tiles out here, or worse, they put actors out there, and those will matter. Your game will factor those in, even if they can't be seen. So they will probably crash your game, and they might even crash Stencil. So just beware of that. Okay, let's see, last but not least, you can go ahead and you can left click and you can choose an entire block of tiles and you can place them all down here. So I can come up here and I can grab this entire block and I can paint like that. Okay, moving on. For this demo tutorial, I'm just going to do a very simple setup. And of course, you can hold down your mouse and you can go ahead and just paint. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to just do something like this. And I'll finish off just by putting a little platform up here. Okay, something really simple. Okay, so now I'm ready to go ahead and start bringing in my actor. And in this case, it's going to be my hero character, this little green guy right here. So you can do one of two things. You can either select your actor and then bring your actor in, or you can go ahead and start customizing your actor and then bring them in. I have found that you might get a little bit slightly better results if you customize your actor first before you put them in. It just makes things go a little bit smoother. But for this demonstration purpose, I want to set up a real-life example, so I'm going to go ahead and put my character in first. You'll notice that I put the character in above the ground, and that's because I want to show you the effects of gravity. Okay, so now I want to go to customize my character. So I'm going to go back to my dashboard, come over here on my actor types, and I'm going to double click and open up my actor tab. Okay, so this is the appearance tab, and this is where you set up different what are called states, and you can have just different moments, different poses, different moves of your character. And because we downloaded a kit, there are 6 that are already pre-made for us. We then have behaviors, events, collisions, physics, and properties. For right now, we're just going to be dealing with behaviors and physics. So let's go to behaviors, and there's none in there. We're going to go ahead and add one. We're going to start off with walking. When we add in walking for the first time, you'll see that we have some controls that we have to set up. This is the #1 reason why people have problems with their actors, is that they add the behavior, but then they don't set it up. And if they don't set it up, your character, of course, is not going to move. You also have to make sure that that you set them up correctly. And I know that sounds like common sense, but a number of people are just going so fast because Stencil is so fun, and they're excited about doing this, that they just don't pay attention that they set up their left arrow key to their right action. So make sure that your right is set up to your right, your left is set up to your left. And those are set up on the arrow keys. I'm going to leave the speed at its default. You can always come back later and change it. And now I'm just going to set these up. Make sure that you notice what actions you are putting with what animations. Okay. Alright, so now that I've added in a behavior, my character should now be mobile. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the recording. I'm going to then come up here and choose test scene. It takes a couple of seconds to compile the game. That means to put it together. I'm not going to force you to watch that. And then I'll join you again when the game is ready to be viewed. Okay, so here I am in the game, and you can see here's my flash game here, and I'm going to go ahead and do left and right. So you'll notice that the character does move, but there are some problems, of course. There's no gravity, and notice that when my character moves, the animations aren't playing. There's no feet moving, and when I go left, the character isn't switching directions. So that's a problem that I'll take care of. And also when my character comes in contact with something, he does that, and he goes flying off. So there's that. And then on top of that, if he leaves the screen, or she leaves the screen, I can't come back. So a number of problems to fix. Okay, another reminder is that when you go back to fix your game, you have to close your game session there. Otherwise, you won't be able to save anything. So really important. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and fix those things real quickly, and then we'll move on to a part 2 to finish up this this little series here. Okay, so I'm going to add some gravity to my level. So I want to stay on my level tab, level 1, and I'm going to go to physics, and you'll see that you have horizontal and vertical gravity. I want vertical gravity, and I'm going to type in 85, and I want to make sure that's down. So 85 is real world gravity, as in our real world, the Earth. Okay, now I need to go and I need to fix the actor. So I'm going to go to the actor tab. I'm going to go to physics, and I'm going to say that the actor cannot rotate. So now the character won't go spinning out of control. Okay, now as for the behavior, I thought there was something wrong with the behavior, but it turns out, and I learned this from one of my students in the afternoon classes, that if you go down here to add behavior and you add the next behavior that you want, in this case it'll be jumping, the walking behavior will correct itself. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my jump. I'm going to make it be the up arrow to jump. I'll go ahead and add in my jump sound. You can also leave your sound off. And I'll set up my jump animations. So oftentimes, and this is a known thing with Stencil, is that if you're pretty sure you're 100% correct in your settings and you're pretty sure everything works, sometimes you have to refresh Stencil. And a good way to do that is to close the tab, go back to your dashboard, and double click to open them back up again. So I just opened up my actor tab. I'm going to go back to my scenes and double click and open up my scene tab. And a lot of times that alone will refresh things. Alright, so I think I'm pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and pause and show you again when it's all put together. Okay, so we're back, and here's my game. So here's the little character, and you can notice that the character switches sides and animates, which is great. I got a little jump. You might not be able to hear the sound, and that's just due to the screen recording software that I'm using. Let's see, and my character can hit things and doesn't go flipping out of control. You may notice when you do this that if you jump a certain way, that way if your character hits a platform, they get stuck a little bit. That's due to collisions, and I'm aware of that, and I'll talk to you in class later about how to fix that. But for now, the character is working and functioning, so yay. Okay, in part 2, we'll go ahead and finish this up. I'll show you how to add in a second scene, how to add in another tile set so you can decorate some more, and how to go from scene to scene. So I'll see you in that next one. See you then.